Okay.
Thanks, lady.
Hello, everybody. This is session 2 of World of Barovia. I'm joined with a group of friends here as we are playing Dungeon World uh, using Curse of Strahd and some of the other Barovia content that is made for Dungeons and Dragons. Um, I will note that we are using some safety tools at the table today. Uh, Specifically lines and veils. We have veiled consensual sexual activity, kink, incest, slavery, suicide, suicidal ideation, and torture. For me, the big one is torture and consensual sexual activity. And we have lined COVID-19 and other pandemics, seducing someone while disguised, and sexual assault and violence. These things just don't exist in our world. And then the things that are veiled can be mentioned, but we will just fade to black and not go in depth with them. Okay, I am GM Cisco. I will be your dungeon master for today. Um, we'll go ahead and go from right to left in the character keeper here, and I will ask you to give me the elevator pitch for your character and to introduce yourself. We will start with Brett, who's playing Lothar. Take it away, Brett.
Hi, playing Lothar, a currently male Reaper. Um, he's been around the block a few times. Reapers die; they get put into gets put into a random body, and he ended up stumbling across these two gentlemen that he's with now, and they're going into Barovia, and his goal is to, of course, the undead, the Reapers hate, and his current goal is to help rid this land of the scourge of the undead.
Awesome, awesome. And Brett, you have, or Lothar has, a beginning of session move where we talk about your lost memories. So I will have you roll that now, and I will post the move in the chat. You're gonna roll plus con, and this might be too big for the chat. Yep, it's too big for chat. I'll just read it. You are a reaper who embodies the empty shell of another being. You have none of the memories of the person whose body you reside in. Or do you? Every once in a while, your memories come back in a torrent. It seems as though the past wishes to become present. As it does, who you are now is slowly being influenced by the memories of another person. Who were they? How is this possible? Were you not created by Quetzal himself? Or could it be that he was lying? Or perhaps this is just a fluke. The mystery is yours to unravel. You have now the following move: fractured. At the start of the session, roll plus con. On a 10 plus, the GM holds 2. On a 7 to 9, the GM holds 1. I can spend this hold 1 for 1 during the session in order to give you a fleeting memory from the past that gives you +1 forward or -1 forward, as I choose. I can tell you something that your memories want you to do, and then if you do it, you get to mark an extra XP. When you roll a miss, I would take temporary control over you as the person from your memories. We played with this move this weekend and it went great. It's super fun. So, what did you roll on your plus con roll?
I am doing that now. I wasn't even thinking about it. Didn't even have my dice.
And I just sort of respring this on you.
Plus con. Let me scroll back up. I think. Yep. 11.
11. Awesome. I'll hold 2. All right. Let's move along on the character keeper. Asa, why don't you go ahead and tell us about Raylan?
Yep. Raylan is everyone's favorite dwarf with alopecia. We discovered in the fiction last session that he we outside of characters discovered that he is probably the descendant of a long lost ancient tribe of dwarves. And we're going to hopefully flesh that out in the coming sessions a little bit. But yeah, so he was formerly a cleric of Harvanthi, the goddess of luck and chance, which has since been stripped from him, and he is just striving to find his way back. He knows that there is loot in Barovia, and he knows that vampire hunters are the best way to get to Barovia, so he has joined the Vampire Hunter Guild and is currently on his kind of personal quest along with these two other guys who are also willing to go to Barovia. What for? Who knows?
Well, we are questing for the Fletch of Quetzal, the legendary arrow that can pierce anything and everything, and that you don't even have to aim. You just have to want to know what it is that you're aiming at. Perfect for staking a vampire from, say, the other side of the world, perhaps? We'll see if and when we find it. Michael, why don't you tell us about Zathari?
So Zathari is a half elf, half human. He is a sorry, I'm just trying to get a couple of things here straight. He's a ranger, and he also follows his kind of drive is to gain knowledge about and further favor with Quetzal. He has a long history now with Quetzal and being interwound in his life, being partly because he had Zathari had come close to the brink of death. He made a chance with death and went on a whole thing with Quetzal and been part of his drama of his godliness and whatnot. And he has now a companion. He used to have a ice wolf companion, but Zathari ended up, sacrificing said companion to find more favor with Quetzal. And in doing so, Quetzal then returned him with a different companion, which is a snake. And so he's getting a little bit more dark and more,
Which is
could use some
perfect.
sun every once in a while.
Which is perfect for this
Going through an emo phase.
Only to go to Barovia, land of the emo. Excellent. So I will summarize what happened last time. We had Raylen, Lothar, Pietro, a young acolyte of the Vampires Guild, and Van Richten, the vampire hunter, legendary vampire hunter, quest into the Misty Woods. Van Richten had told the group that there was a... Yes, Raylan.
Hey, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's just me. I think I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Is anyone else hearing that?
You're hearing that, Michael?
I am, yeah. There's some, it's not that noticeable, but if you're hearing something, Asa, I'm hearing that too.
Yeah, it's like a womp type deal.
I just muted myself and it didn't change.
It's not going to be game breaking. I was just wanted to bring it up, see if there was anybody that could. All right.
Is it
sorry.
Brett?
Proceed.
Now I can hear it.
Sorry.
Quite a bit.
Now maybe it is game breaking.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The group was going through the Misty Woods when they were attacked by a group of the undead, and though we all thought that Pietro would be the one that wouldn't make it out, it was in fact Van Richten who was taken away by the legions of darkness. And now the only ones who were left were Raylen, Lothar, and Pietro. You have also found Van Richten's magical whip called Fang's Bane, which I love. That's metal AF. And a magical ring, which you gave to Pietro. And sure enough, the ring bit him. And he claims to be able to know how to navigate the woods now. So that is where we are. Raylen also had part of his face bitten off. Thankfully, it was through like some sort of voodoo doll ritual. And so, though he has part of his face missing and he needs to get that cleaned up, at least there's no danger of him being like infected by any sort of undead. So that's good news. We also made camp, and I think that's where we left off. I am okay with sort of fast forwarding all of you to a part where essentially Pietro has navigated you all through the woods, and you will be reaching the nearest village on the Svalich Road. Does anybody want to do? Oh, and Michael, I'm going to have you come in here pretty soon, so just be on the lookout for that. Does anybody, meaning Lothar or Raylen, do you all want to do anything before we cut?
I'm just gonna fashion a like a bandana or some kind of piece of cloth that just kind of sort of masks my face, just to prevent the from people when they see my half chewed cheekbone.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. That's pretty gross. How about you, Lothar? Anything?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, sounds good. After about 2-3 days or 2-3 hours of journey through the misty woods, you all will come out onto this Vallachi road, and after another couple hours walk, you will come upon the village of Vallachi. Pietro tells you that this was the way that Van Richten like meant to go. And you see he keeps like wincing, and like his hand is bleeding. He has it wrapped up. So essentially the way that this fanged ring is leading him is sort of by like biting him anytime he goes the wrong way. He doesn't mind telling you that. Yeah, it's pretty gruesome, it's pretty gory, and he's doing his best to like sort of impress you guys. Raylen, you are like already like a made man in the guild. Lothar has a spiritual scythe that he fights the undead with, and so Pietro's like feeling pretty inadequate. You can tell easily. You all approach the village of Barovia. It is surrounded, as far as you can see, by like these big wooden masts, which are cut to a point at the top. You can see that there are guards sort of walking at the top on the other side, on the inside of town. It is going to be dark. Sun has just set, and as you all were traveling, by the way, the sun never actually really comes out here in Barovia. It's just like pitch dark and then less dark. That's pretty much the two modes of Barovia. Talk about emo mode here, Michael. But now it's getting dark again. The guards are going to scream from like the iron gates. There's wood. There's these wooden poles, like I said, around the city, but like the actual gate is made of iron. One of the guards is going to scream out, halt! Who goes there? Raylen or Lothar, do you want to let Pietro take over here on the parlay, or Raylen, do you want to take over, or Lothar?
I'm wondering, is there anything? So obviously the vampire hunters know the most about Barovia. Is there anything historically or anything about this particular village or area that I may have gleaned from my time with the guild?
That's a good question. That's a good question. What would you know about Vallachi? There isn't anything specific about Vallachi itself that you would know. You only know it in relationship to a town which is further down the road called Barovia itself, like the city of Barovia in the country of Barovia, right? Compared to Barovia, Vallachi is supposed to be less dark, less ominous, the people friendlier. And so you probably feel relieved about that you're in Vallachi first and not in Barovia first. Overall, just all the towns in Barovia, the people are suspicious, unfriendly in general. This town is friendlier than Barovia, but they're not friendly. And they constantly have to deal with the undead. So that's pretty much what you would know. You can roll spout lore if you want.
Little quick side thing here. Usually I float everywhere, but as we approach town, as we get in the range of town, I am not. I'm walking.
Sounds good. As you floated toward your journey, Pietro was taking point because he was the guy, but he kept like getting really freaked out by you floating the whole way. Like he never got used to it.
And when as long as we're near town, as long as we're not involved in anything or doing anything as well, I do not turn invisible when I'm standing still. So I look like a normal person.
Good call. Good call. You would especially know that would be a bad idea if Raylan related to you anything about the culture of this country. So, yeah.
I got an 8 on my scout lore.
All right, sounds good. So I get to tell you something interesting, but it's up to you to make it useful. Okay. What is something interesting about Vallachi that could possibly be useful? Okay. Here's something interesting that you can make useful. There is probably no shortage of things that you could do for this town that are going to generate you coin and probably good standing with the people of Barovia. These are a very collectivist culture, and so they're not going to allow just the strangers to sort of be like in the inn with them. You also know that nearby there was a camp of Vistani, which in the world of Barovia are analogous with the Romani in our world. And you do know that the Vistani have a very like magical sort of culture. So yeah. You would also know that if you were to go to any sort of cleric or like place of religious worship, you could probably get some good attendance to your face. So that was quite a bit that I gave you there. All potential things that you can capitalize on. So okay. Go ahead and raise your hand on who wants to take point in speaking with these guards.
I'm gonna take point. I assume just from my watching Lothar, he's he borders on creepy, and so we don't want to like raise any red flags. I don't think with the townsfolk. No offense, Lothar. So yeah, I kind of step forward and recognize the hail from the guards, and well met and whatnot, and I say, greetings. We're traveling through to Barovia, but we've encountered some weird tree creatures and a zombie witch doctor, and so we're experienced hunters, but we need a place where we can settle in, patch up, and possibly connect with a missing friend. See if we can't put out the feelers. And I say all that in my most charismatic way.
Sounds good. You're gonna trigger parlay 2.0 here, but before that, they tell you, Experienced hunters, is that the sort of fool that would travel Barovia at night? You must be expert hunters indeed.
I mean, potato. We night is all relative depending on how comfortable you are. You merely were running it. I was afraid. Whatever Bane says.
Mhm.
Yeah, just say. So we are experienced hunters, and so that we know, we stand a much better chance of finding our prey in the night. But we also are realists and understand that we do need to find a base camp where we might be able to operate from and provide assistance to.
Mm. You speak of the night. What you say is truest here in Barovia. Go ahead and roll Parlay 2.0.
What exactly is Parlay 2.0? I know what Parlay 1.0 is.
Yeah, let me post. Hopefully, it'll let me post Parlay 2.0 here. For those of you watching at home, it is well recorded that I absolutely abhor the parlay move, and so I have a better version of it. When you influence or manipulate an NPC to do something they normally wouldn't do, roll plus charisma. On a hit, they reveal the easiest way to convince them to go along. On a 7 to 9, they reveal something that you can do to convince them, though it'll likely be costly, trickier, distasteful. Note that easiest does not necessarily mean easy to accomplish. Convincing a royal guard to let you in is to let you buy, still a challenging task. So parlay is not mind control in that regard. So go ahead and roll plus charisma and let's see what happens.
And the condition that I have because of my face that you gave me, that's just a -1, right?
It is -1.
But I have a 2 modifier, so it's just a +1.
Yeah.
And I got a 5.
You got a 5. Okay.
I swear this dice roller program you have is some kind of sadistic dungeon master. Let me mark my experience here.
Yeah, go ahead and mark an experience.
If I help, it would only give them like up to a +1, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So
as I'm talking, my bandana falls off my face, and they're like, "Ooh."
Yeah, I love that. It's gonna fall like you said, and you're going to have a bunch of arrows and spears pointed at you. And they will say, "We trust no one who walks the night as you do, nor anyone who would cover their faces like that. You will remain here and make camp. We will let you in at sun up if the light has not caused you to burst into flame by then." The leader of the guard, turns to the other and says, do not like not point your arrows at them. Yeah. So, is there anything that you want to do while you make camp right outside here?
Yeah.
You're muted.
In this situation, it would be hilarious if we had access to like program delusion. So cast that, and when the sun comes up, looks like we burst into flame.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody has prestidigitation like that. If you all have watched, yeah, go ahead, Raylan.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna do my salt circle move.
Cool.
Where I sprinkle the salt just to protect us from.
Okay. The leader of the guard will call out. It's like, explain yourself, dwarf.
Explain myself, dwarf. I'm trying to find my move. Hold on. I don't think there's anything special about it. Just the alarm tone. Okay.
What sort of witchcraft is this?
I'll just say this is an ancient rite, ancient ritual of which you know nothing. This is something of my people, but this will protect us during the night. I don't want to. What I don't. I guess what I'm trying to do is. I'm not certain how the people of Barovia feel about the Vampire Hunter Guild, And so since this is kind of a vampire hunter move, I don't necessarily want to reveal that I'm a vampire hunter. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah. You do
Play it
know
off
that
as-
they are
as-
you do know that they are a highly suspicious people who are scared of the supernatural, superstitious, right? There are superstitious people, and so you can easily say like, you know, this is merely to ward off the spirits, and that wouldn't make sense to them, right? So as a general matter, of course, everyone's an individual, and so some of them are going to be less superstitious than others. But he's going to snap his finger, and he's going to send, you know, 2 guys down, and one of them is going to keep his arrows on the group, and the other is, you know, going to walk up to the circle, and like they're both going to keep their eyes on you, and one of them is going to taste, and it's like it's only rock salt. It is perhaps to keep spirits away. Like he says, they would not be able to stand in here if they were spirits of any kind. And then the other guard says, yet may be something else. Resume your post. And then they both walk in, and they're like, you know, they retreat into the gate. So it's gonna be like a super tense situation like that. And I don't mind cutting to daylight. A couple of things will happen though. If you all have seen like any sort of zombie movie, there's going to be some zombies that are, or some shambling sort of you know, undead that are going to come around, you know, and as they head toward your camp, as they're walking around, you know, the city, you're going to see pikes go through the walls, and they're going to like impale them, and you know, they're not going to get to you. And if you know, there might be like one such shambling undead, you know, come toward you, and then like as soon as they're within distance, like you know, they're going to let loose their arrows, and they're going to probably finish them. So these guys are used to this. Has the feel of like a Walking Dead sort of community episode, right? So they don't mess around. They do open the gate just enough to let you in. They're gonna have one of the guards, you know, check you all. You know, one of them will pray over you. One of them will like splash, you know, water on you. They're gonna do everything that they can to check that you are fine. They have their procedures, you know. One of them is gonna look at your face and be like, "Morning, Lord Almighty. You might want to go to Father Terran for that." Let's put him on the NPCs.
Can I get directions to Father Karen?
They give you directions to the local church, which is not far.
That was Father Karen.
Terran with a T as in
Oh,
tango.
Karen. Yeah, so it doesn't have like
TA.
the hair and the let me see your manager type vibe.
Oh gosh, Karen. No, Terran, Tarrin.
Yeah.
Why are they important? Head cleric in Vallachi. Okay. All right, you all are in Vallachi.
I also
yeah.
want to. I'd like to inquire to see if anyone has gotten eyes on like this kind of creepy dude with a snake.
Yeah. I have a custom move that I have made for Zathari, and now is the perfect time to cut to him. So, Zathari, you arrived at Barovia before Raylen and Lothar and Pietro did. So I have a custom move for you. Tell us how you have been surviving in this dark land filled with undead. So if you have been weathering the outdoors, and you and Shadow have been surviving out in the wilds, roll plus con. You know, if you have been trying to befriend people and have them let you stay in their homes, roll plus charisma, you know. So tell me how you've been surviving, and then we'll make the appropriate roll. And you're on mute, by the way.
What were the kind of things again?
I think we can justify one for every
So is wisdom the ability to like know things, right? That's the ability to know things.
I would say if you have been surviving by keeping your wits about you,
Yeah.
yeah, then roll plus wisdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, you know, I'd pull a kind of one of those zombie things where like they put the zombie blood on you and then you smell like them, so they don't go after you. That's what I was thinking. And then
Yeah,
because
that would
my
be like a
snake is-
wisdom roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've been trying to stay one step ahead of the shambling undead in the woods, roll plus. Yeah, roll
That's what I
plus
think.
wisdom. I
Okay.
like it. And depending on how this roll goes, then we'll figure out how the people of Vallachi have been treating you.
Okay. Oh wait, what do I? Hold on, it disappeared. Hold on. 2d6 plus 2. Okay. 2d6 plus 2. All right, that's Raylan. Oh, a 10.
Just don't get too close to the stockade when you approach with the zombie guts, or they might stick you with a pike through the wall or shoot you with arrows from the battlements.
I mean, I look like a person still. It's more of the smell.
I like
They
the
hear this
idea.
hacking cough and
I
they
would-
realize, hey, this person's got some illness.
Yeah, right.
I would think they would probably be used to that kind of trick, just for their daily lives.
Yeah, on a 10 plus, I like the idea that you have been keeping your wits about you. You have found little game in the woods, but you have been able to hunt. And maybe you've been doing some trading with the towns of Barovia and you have a couple contacts.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you hold 2. So at any point, here you go. So at any
Thank
point,
you.
you can trade those 2 points to say, to ask a question about the Barovian woods, because you're a ranger, I assume you've been out there a bunch, or the city of Vallachi itself. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay. And on top of that, the Vallachi.
What is the city's name again?
Vallachi?
It's
It
Vallachi,
is
Vallachi. I don't know. That's what I call
Vallachi.
it. Okay.
Vallachi. I will add that to the NPC tab and places as well. Vallachi, town in Barovia. Okay. So Zathari sticks out like a sore thumb because he has a big ass snake, which ironically does not pass their "this is not undead" test, but also does not fail their "this is not undead" test. They don't really know what to do with Shadow, but Zathari's game is good. It's fresh. He himself has made himself a reputation in the town, a good one. And so, Raylan, if you've already seen Zathari, well, he's also a half elf, so he also sticks out. So, yeah, if you describe him, they're able to tell you that he is here. So,
Dark clothes, striking good looks, eyes you could lose yourself in, kissable lip. Wait, what?
Oh yeah.
He does have a charisma bonus of 1, so he's not bad looking. So yeah, so Zathari, where are you in the town of Vallachi? And before you answer that, there is an inn. There is there's anything that you would think that you would find in a medium-sized
Yeah.
Victorian town.
I would say I mean, So to kind of help me catch up to who these people are, since I know them so well and have this awesome reputation, how are they with magic and stuff? Like, are they like afraid of it, or are they like very welcoming of it, or how are they like? So if I was to just commune in an open square, would they be like terrified, or would they be?
They would be
Okay.
terrified.
Yeah. Okay.
They would be terrified,
So-
especially because the way you commune with Quetzal is a bit dark, right?
Graphic.
Yeah. It's definitely not something that
No, they
I
don't
mean,
wanna see
like you're
that.
very polarizing. Like you have a reputation, but it's still
Yeah.
polarizing because of your
Okay.
big snake. Unless you tell Shadow to bury herself outside, which is something that she does do.
No.
And you can tell her
I
to
would
do on
say
command.
then I am in the marketplace,
Okay.
trading some fresh furs that Shadow and I have found, like, different small game animals, and we're trading furs and bartering.
Awesome. Awesome possum. I will have a custom move for the market here pretty soon. Actually, why don't you go ahead and roll Parlay 2.0 to see how
And
you've
it
been
just so
doing that.
happened to, if I hope you didn't mind, I put that in under the new parlay. I edited that move for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, except for now it's not showing the whole thing. So you have to double click on it to pull it up, because I don't know why it's not doing that.
Italian hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anonymous narwhal. Who's that? In Google.
I don't know, but somebody's
Anyway.
anonymous Efrate, and that's really cool. I've never seen that before.
Oh, and a
Yeah.
liger. Huh. I must be one of these. All right. So anyway, so when I influence or manipulate an NPC to do something, then I'm going to roll charisma. Okay. So my charisma.
See how you've been doing at the market.
And charisma is +1. So +1. A 6. So I didn't do
Oof.
too hot.
You didn't do too hot. I will let you use one of those 2 points if you'd like to bump it up to a 7.
Fine.
All right. And you
Or
have
wait, do I want to? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, I shouldn't say that.
I'll let you
Yeah,
start.
Poke the bear.
Don't tempt him.
We're gonna use the card and get out of this one.
Seems good. All right. So that will start you off with 300 coin. I don't think you have any coin, is that right?
I mean, I did at one point.
Mhm.
I don't really know where we kept that at, because he sold like he sold I thought he sold maybe the tablet of Sheffigadoro Goths at
That's
one
right.
point,
Yeah.
and
So
earned a bit of bank, and the skin of Hickdom's mom's.
yeah, that
Felt.
was a long time ago.
That was a
Long
long
time
time
has
ago.
passed.
That was
Yeah.
probably used up by now.
Yeah,
but
for sure. For
I
sure.
had that in the bank, earning interest, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have a flashback on how you came to Barovia, but we'll say that it was not in the same way that Lothar and Raylen came. And so I was gonna give you 300 gold for your partial success, and then we'll say that you came with another 200. So you have 500 gold. Now, Raylen and Lothar, you all sort of left the Abbey, or the, what would you call it? The Vampires Guild edifice, in the middle of an attack. And so we can do a custom move for that to see what you left with, if you'd like. Yeah. Okay. We'll do this. Go ahead and roll plus intelligence for quick thinking. And if you roll a 10 plus, you'll have 3 hold. And if you roll a 7 to 9, you'll have 1 hold. And we'll put it under items in a Vampire's Guild.
Are we
Michael,
both just
say that again?
Are we both just rolling individually then?
Yeah, go ahead and roll individually.
Okay.
Yeah, plus intelligence. Yeah, Michael, you had a question.
Yeah. Just kind of wondering, as far as when I rolled here in the marketplace, what was that for?
That was for how
Was
well
I
you've been
doing
doing. How well you've been doing as a
okay.
businessman.
So gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay.
11.
11. Very nice. 11. Okay. So you each, make a line of like, personal effects / items from a vampires guild. So, and we'll just abstract that, and then whenever you want to be like, here's the thing. Can you give me your Venmo? That's awesome. Oh, Michael, you kidder. Okay, awesome. Now, Lothar, Raylen, Zathari, this is early morning, and in a town this size, in what looks like a dark Victorian area, right, of not Europe, this should very much be like the beginning of Beauty and the Beast, where people are coming out and saying bonjour, and there should be bread, and there should be a market, and it is not that whatsoever. So I'm gonna give you all a question, and then you each take one. One of the questions is, what is it about Vallachi that lets you know that the people here are hollowed shells? What tells you here that the people are hollowed shells?
You're giving one for each of the three of us?
I will throw out the three, and then whoever wants to go first and answer one can. The other question is, what here tells you that these are a people who are under constant attack? Besides the fact that they're all sort of gloomy and dark, and they're not coming out and singing bonjour, and then tell me something.
So I'll handle that one. I want to start. I'm looking for the baker with his tray, like always. Same old bread and rolls to sell. Like every morning is the same. Since the morning that we came to this poor provincial town.
Were you able to say that like from memory?
My wife's favorite movie is Beauty and the Beast. Like I've seen Beauty and the Beast 1,000 times.
Oh, she must be a reader. Very cool. Okay, and then finally, tell me something about Vallachi that you find somber but beautiful. And raise your hand if you want me to repeat the questions. Nope. Okay, we're good.
I'll do the easy one of what makes us somber and beautiful.
Tell me.
I'm going to say that there is a specific flower. We're just going to call it the nightshade. And it's like a royal blue, it kind of resembles a rose, but smaller, tighter in. And then instead of thorns being like on the stem, they're on like on the leaves. And they're pretty much like the only flower that will grow in this area in the town. And it is a popular perennial, and but it also is used oftentimes when there are deaths, and so people have them out all the time.
I love it.
So
I love it. In the market square, the market square is also half market square, half park. And so there are actually areas that are well kept and where the nightshades are blooming right now, and they're quite numerous. So thank you for that, Michael. That was great. The two questions that are left are, what tells...
Good luck. I'm kidding.
What tells you here that the people are hollowed shells? And what here tells you that these are people who are under constant attack?
With that first one, the like you said, it's not it's not like Beauty and the Beast. You know, people aren't singing. There's not a girl in a blue and white dress singing about the book she's read, and bimbo looking lady is like, oh, why does she read so much? Oh, look at me, Gaston. But that's not normal. That's like way happy, and that's not happening, obviously. But normal isn't happening either. I mean, normally most places, especially small village where people know people, you know, everybody pretty much knows everyone type of deal. You know, people will still greet each other and you know, hey, how you doing, Bill? Type of deal. And there's really none of that happening. There's no like joy in the morning. You know, people are out, people may be doing their thing, but they're not really interacting with each other. They're not really greeting each other. Some of them are more looking down and not like necessarily at their surroundings so much. And it's like it's almost like they're automatons. They're more following a morning routine instead of people, you know, going about the routine, but being like, hey, how you doing? Type of deal.
I love that. That is awesome.
Oh,
Thank you
so
for that, Brett.
That leaves me with how can we tell they're under constant attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
So mine is much less visual. Mine is auditory. Um, there is this constant din of the blacksmith hammer, right? Like just constantly hammering out arrowheads and spear tips. You can hear the shaving of the the men and the women that are using their tools to trim down arrow shafts, things of that nature. And then it's not just the presence of those sounds as much as it's also the absence of the children running and laughing and playing games in the streets. And it's just it's the sheer absence of joyful noise, along with the presence of that undertone of preparation for war type of sound.
I love that preparation of
Can I add
war.
on to that? I don't want to like go over Asa or anything.
Do it.
But in addition to, I Lothar kind of noticed that you start to be able to hear it less as you kind of get more into town, but it's daylight, of course, but zombies aren't necessarily a nocturnal thing. They're all the time.
Right.
So occasionally, if you listen real close, you can hear the of arrows. You can hear the occasional moan of the zombies and the sound of the spears striking in the flesh. Once in a while, someone might get a little excited, and you might hear someone like, "Got one!" And but yeah, like that just kind of adds to kind of like the auditory thing, like Asa was saying, as far as where people are under attack. And it
I
kind
love that.
a little quieter, as we get in from the walls, because that's an outside thing, and that kind of goes into the background a little bit. But it's one of those things where if you think about it, if you listen for it, it's kind of one of those things that's always there. You just kind of eventually start to tune it out.
I love that. I'm going to add to that, but before I do, someone give me the name that they have for these creatures. Something other than zombies.
Shamblers.
I like shamblers. Awesome. So I'm going to add to what Brett said, and I'm going to say what they scream, in fact, is Shambler 1 down, confirmed. And then you hear another guard. It's like, Shambler 1 down, confirmed. Like they are keeping count. They're very efficient about this. But you're right, Lothar. They you start tuning it out eventually, and it seems like these people have done just that. Well, after setting that dark mood, let me ask Zathari. Zathari, did you leave Shadow out, or do you have Shadow with you?
She's with right now.
She's with you right now.
Mhm.
Okay. If that's the case, then Zathari, you have a town guard assigned to you the entire time. And you are doing business with the fur trapper in town, who has, you know, a business here in town of just furs and trappings. And you are just done with that as you see Lothar and Raylan coming. Now, Lothar, why don't you give us what you look like, and then Zathari, give us what you look like, and then Asa, give us what you look like for the folks at home.
I'm actually gonna just kind of go off that picture that I made. He's a white male. he's got a beard and kind of long hair, almost kind of like me. But it's a little more trimmed. He's got a kind of like a fur hat on, and he's just got some, you know, normal clothes, a tunic and a pair of pants, and then he's got a cloak on with fur on the shoulders.
No I would almost describe. Say that again.
No visible weapons or anything.
Okay, I would almost describe him as like nondescript, right? Like you're easy to blend in. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. I get that too. Zathari, besides having a gigantic stink on you, what do you look like?
Well, I look like that without my head. Let me go back and find my photo. So half elf, so he has elven features, and he is dressed more in black attire now, especially in Bulgaria. Kind of. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, there we go. Thanks. That's him right there. His specialty is one of his preferred weapons is the bow and arrow. But yeah, he changed his wardrobe more so for the climate that he's in right at this point too, because it's darker, it's not light out as often, and he does have white glowing eyes when he communes with what's his face, with Quetzal. And then I would be remiss to not mention my wonderful companion, Shadow. She is one heck of a snake. She's black, which does great in the surroundings as well. And her and I we have kind of a joking relationship with one another, because I am a ranger. I can communicate and with them, and with her especially, because she's from Quetzal herself. We can actually communicate, and so she'll give these kind of very dry or off-handed remarks, and she's not shy about being dark sometimes. Like, you know, she'll openly mention to me like, well, I'll eat him another time, or you know, like just these really dark kind of things, but at the same time are comedic, because she won't, but she would if she could. But anyway,
a couple questions for you.
Yes.
What is the most dark Tim Burton thing that she does visibly?
What do you mean? I mean, she's a snake, so
she's a snake. Yeah, so besides tell me what she does that gives the most heebie-jeebies to anyone who is traveling along with her. And I will give you one example. Like, the way that a snake eats is just absolutely revolting, at least to me, right? So maybe tell me something else. Or maybe it's something about her looks.
I think something that if someone gets too close, even if the guard's there, she will sit up, you know, like how a cobra would like stand up and show its hood. She'll do that too, and she'll definitely like she'll make herself bigger to be intimidating. And when she does, she gets up to like a human level. It's not like, oh, I'm up to your knee. I'm like, she'll be right up to your eyeballs. So that's how big she is. She's a big girl.
She is a big girl. Yeah. I'm gonna throw something else at you, and I'll let you think about it. We haven't really explored the fact that your species is not known to be really existent. So the people of Barovia seem like, or the people of Vallachi, excuse me, seem like they have heard about elves but never seen one, because they call you elf. So not half elf, they call you elf. I think they just assume that you're an elf. So we can kind of explore how that makes you feel. But let me turn it over to Raylen for now. Yeah, Raylen,
do
tell
they know
us what
about
you look
dwarves,
like.
or do they just think I'm a really short, bald human?
That is a really good question. You are getting a lot of looks.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of looks, and you can try to interact with one to see what happens.
Yeah, we might. We'll see we'll see where the fiction takes us.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So as far as appearance goes, yeah, I'm just your, typically sized dwarf from any of your RPG games or Lord of the Rings movies you've seen. But I am completely hairless. Suffers from this world's equivalent of alopecia. No eyebrows, no beard, no hair, nothing. Stocky build. I always carry the silvered warhammer and a shield on my back, kind of emblazoned with my holy symbol. And currently, right out of the side of my cheek, there's a big, kind of bloody, scabby mess right now, where we've had this bite. Where if you kind of catch it right, and I'm kind of talking and working my jaw, you can even see like tendons and maybe a glimpse of a tooth through this hole in the side of the cheek. And I do have it covered with a bandana right now because it is so gruesome. But like happened previously, occasionally might slip down or revealing that nastiness.
Sounds good. As you're walking about, you have your face covered, and you hear whispers as you walk about, and they're saying like, the face, the face, the face, the face. People keep saying that, and they move along, they scurry along. Okay, the group has met up. I will give you guys a minute. Roleplay.
Zathari, my boy. Well met. I don't know what we talk about here.
Zathari, you missed some stuff.
Yeah, you missed some. I got to pull my bandana down.
We got his face bitten.
Yeah.
Do I know you? Who dis? New face.
Exactly. Yeah, so I say, hey, so obviously you've met Van Richten. Did we decide if it was Val or Van? Van, right?
Yeah, Cisco Van earlier during the
not Val Richten the Reaver.
It's Van, whatever Van Helsing is. So Van Richten.
Yeah.
Van Richten.
Yeah, we ran into like this zombie necromancer dude that could bit this human's face off, and it affected me. And then this creature came up from the ground and grabbed Van Richten. I just dragged him underneath, just kind of break down the previous encounter, how we pierced the veil to Barovia, where we're at. Pietro's got this ring on his finger. Just bring him fully up to speed.
And what are you doing here?
I mean, did we maybe outside of the fiction? Did we not? I thought we had previously discussed coming to Barovia.
Yeah, I thought we were together for a while, and then after I had to split off.
Yeah, I think the plan was to. I think the plan was to reunite here in Barovia. Zathari, there's only a few ways that you were able to get into Barovia, and all supernatural. All of
Yep.
them are supernatural. Barovia is a land that has been
man.
fractured away from like the regular realm where you live in. So dig back into your fantasy knowledge and tell us how you got here, and it doesn't have to be now, but yeah, I think we had said in the fiction that you guys were meeting up, so I assume that this is sort of like a
Okay.
happy
I
meeting.
guess I couldn't. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Un-
So
unless
if that's the case.
unless you've suffered amnesia while you're out here, which I am willing to explore.
No, I would say that's fine. I mean, yeah, we can definitely do that. As far as you want me to answer how he got here, or I tripped. I have no idea. I'll think on it for a minute.
That is a thing. That is a
Um,
thing that could legitimately happen, as you were drawn here supernaturally. Like you were in the woods and the mists. There were mists that brought you
Yeah.
in here.
I like it.
Cool.
Sounds great.
Cool. You were set upon by a supernatural mist. You were in the misty woods. We'll say that. And there was, you were suddenly in a mist, and you knew that you had to get out. It was choking you. You knew it was going to kill you if you stayed in there. So it is essentially the mist ferried you in here. So yeah. Okay. Is there anything that you all
we're role playing, right? Hey,
you can if you want. I don't. Yeah.
Here we are. Well, yeah, let's do it. Let's start again, maybe though. Now that I know what we're doing, like new playbook. Who dis?
Take two.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Now that I'm up to speed on where our characters are and how we got here.
Real quick. Well, I guess we can just via the role play. Zathari, my friend.
Yes, Raylen.
Good to see you.
Oh, Raylen.
Oh, I apologize.
How'd you get past the gate with that face?
Yeah, right. Well, we passed some kind of test. They made us sleep outside, and when the sun came up, apparently we passed some test. We heard whispers of some creature that neither failed nor passed the test, but that was weird.
We were actually doing better until they saw his face. It was up, and then.
Oh well, I try.
Raylen, who's that?
Oh, red shirt. This is Pietro. He's you remember Van Richten of the of the guild. So
I do.
Anyway, we went through some
Can't
serious shit
say I
in the forest.
recognize you.
Acolyte Pietro, Mr. Zathari, we've only met maybe 5 or 10 times, but that is okay. I'm the one that brings you your oatmeal in the morning, sir. I'm the one that knows just how you like it. I mostly work in the kitchens in the Vampire Guild Hall, sir. But it's a pleasure to finally speak to you outside of the mess hall, sir.
Pietro, show him your hand.
He unwraps it, and it's pretty grisly. it's bloody. It's a little bit swollen. It's like I think it will be fine, sir. Master Raylen, is it okay if I try to remove the ring now?
I mean, you're welcome to try.
Quetzal, please do.
He takes it off. It doesn't seem to be like in his flesh anymore. It's just like he puts it away in a pocket, and then he wraps it up again.
I kind of hold my hand out for the ring, basically saying like, "Give me the ring."
Of course, Master Raylen.
And then I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna pocket the ring for the time being. And then I'm gonna brief Zathari on what happened.
So what happened to Van Mickelschmidt?
Right as we were about to pierce the veil, or coming up to where the veil between worlds is, we were ambushed by this zombie necromancer who did this to me. They tried to carry Van Richten until Lothar like did this crazy ass fly through the air move that you've got to see to believe. But then eventually some creature just grabbed Van Richten and dragged him into the earth, and all that we have left is his whip and his ring. And then, we've just traveled here, just working our way to Barovia. How did you get here, and how long have you been here?
Little bit of time, I'd say. I was out in the woods, and then poof, I'm here. So my journey was a little bit smoother than yours, apparently. At least I still have half my face. Sorry about that. And as far as Van, what's his name? Sorry, guys, I can't remember names very good. Van Richten. Did anyone see him actually die, or was he just dragged?
He's just gone.
He's just gone.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Literally dragged beneath the surface of the earth.
not the first time he's done that before. I'm sure he may turn up. He may not. I never put anything past him.
Crazy Van Richten.
That
Always
crazy
good
Van
for a
Richten.
laugh.
There are legends that he has survived worse. So
Who knows? Maybe we'll be in a tight spot and he'll show up to save the day.
I also would like to ask Zathari if he is familiar with Friar Terran. Friar? Father? What are we calling him?
Father.
Friar?
Father Terran.
If he's heard anything and if he might be able to assist me with all of this.
I have run across him a few times, yes. He keeps mostly in the monastery, and it's just up the road. If we want to head there now, more than happy
And maybe
to
help the kid with his
guide
hand.
you. Yeah, he looks like he could use some additional help.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I could certainly use the help, yes. You see that Pietro has been crying at the mention of Van Richten being gone. He was sort of like silently sobbing.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket and pull out the ring, and I'm gonna hold it out to Zathari and be like, look, Pietro's inconsolable. Lothar and I are having no luck. I want you to take this ring. I'll give you the ring, and in return for the ring, just hold his hand, comfort the kid, do something, take care of him for us.
I'll guide you guys to the monastery, and we'll go from there. And can I mention something? As he's like bleeding, because it's bleeding, yeah, and it's like
he has it wrapped, and now his wrap
not,
is soaked
right?
in soaked in blood.
Like,
yeah, it's
right.
not like it's not dripping yet, but it is.
It's not.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's red with this blood.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Did you need it to be bleeding for plot purposes?
if it was dripping, I had an idea.
Go for it. We'll say the first drop of blood like hits the ground and yep.
Well, Shadow just seizes the opportunity and goes up and kind of.
Pietro gives like a little yelp. He's like, oh.
And then Shadow just kind of rises up, like, and I'm like, get down.
Pietro
and
like
she laughs,
moves to the other side.
Yeah, she gives it. He tastes all right. I like this one.
Does Zathari's follow along guard react to that at all?
Yeah, his guard is very uneasy. He tries to be as somber and straight-faced as possible, but he can't help but shift constantly, Yeah. But he stays in place. He doesn't move to the other side of the group. He stays close by. So it's pretty invasive. Raylan, when you mention Lothar flying, the guard looks at Lothar and cocks an eyebrow and like You say it just as a peasant like walks by. Oh, he hears you.
I throw in a quick metaphorically.
Oh. The peasant goes, face, and like walks away.
Yeah, when he mentions that in
the
the
face because we're getting a little too close to my actual dating life right now. All the girls, ooh, face. Ooh. Swipe left.
when the guard perks up when he mentioned when he mentions flying, Lothar just goes, "Yeah, I got new shoes. They help me jump better."
Indeed, the people of Barovia after that, they don't give you, if you guys say like, oh, it's metaphorical, then they'll like, yeah. Oh, and by the way, Raylan, the reason that they say face is not because that they can see you, but because your face is covered, right? And so they find that suspicious, right? So yeah. I don't mind cutting to you all moving toward the church to go see Father Taryn. As you're all walking, there is, yeah.
Can I say something? I want to ask Zathari while we're walking, if he's been here for a little bit longer than we have. Has he heard anything about the Fletch? Because we're all aware that that's what we're here for. Ask if he's heard any scuttlebutt, anything that might point us in the right direction.
These people are so superstitious, so on edge. Dude, your face is covered and they're terrified of you. Just so you know. Like, that's how bad it is. These guys aren't gonna, there's nothing here. We're gonna have to go further in.
I'm gonna pull my bandana just so it's hanging around my neck so people can see my face.
Ironically, even though your face has a big chunk taken out of it, the people seem to like be easier. Like they would rather see your mangled visage than see it covered. But that doesn't last long, because as you are all moving toward the church, which is back toward the entrance, where you all came in, there's two other gates, by the way, but we don't need to know about that right now. But there's a scream that pierces the morning air, right out of a it's one of those like slasher movies, high-pitched woman screaming, and you hear murder, this man is dead. And you immediately see people moving and congregating over some nightshade bushes, one of those areas that I told you that is kept, and people are moving toward there. Lothar, what do you want to do? You're muted, by the way, buddy.
It'd probably be better to, normally I'd say, well, we should go do what we're doing, but a bunch of strangers looking like they're trying to get away from the scene of something, and not like going like, oh, what the hell, like with everybody else, might be more suspicious than checking it out. So
okay, do you want to just let it be for now?
I'm gonna head and I just tell you guys we should probably go see what's going on, just because if we just ignore this and walk past, that might look more suspicious than not being interested in what's going on.
Indeed. Raylan, what do you do?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear Lothar's. I was my wife's in the bedroom texting me, so I'm paying attention. Well, what did Lothar say?
I'll let you summarize, Brett.
Essentially, it'd be better to go and look and see what's going on, rather than just being like whatever and continuing on our way, because news people in town ignoring something like this and looking like they're trying to get away is going to be more suspicious than going to check it out.
Perfect. And I apologize for being distracted there. I'll try not to let that happen again. Yeah, I agree. I concur. And if we start to kind of make our way over to see what's amiss, I kind of furtively glance over at Lothar's guard, or not Lothar, Zathari's guard, kind of see what he's doing, see if he's on edge or looking us over, anything like that as we move that way.
Zathari, what do you do?
Well, can I ask maybe what else do we see as we're approaching?
Yeah, if you want to study the area around you, go ahead and roll. Assess the situation. Oh, sorry, there's some realities.
Okay, 1 sec. I gotta get it up here. What am I doing again?
It sounded like
In
you were trying to.
realities or
Yeah, discern reality. It sounded like you wanted to study your environment.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even in like, not so much as finding a clue, but more so just
Okay, just in general.
what's happening around us in general.
Yeah,
now.
the people. You know, there are people moving toward this dead body. This is the most hubbub that you have seen here in Barovia. The people here are, like we said before, hollowed shells, and they don't seem to be very reactive to anything. If you all wait, you know, maybe 60 seconds, you will hear men start mumbling and women start, like, they're going to start wailing. It's going to be like a low wail at the beginning, and then it's going to increase. Yeah. That's just, you know, your immediate environment without actually like studying it or anything.
Is the body in view or no?
It's not, but you, especially you, can easily part it and get a good look at it, you know, if you wanted to. Because they're gonna give Shadow a wide berth.
Yeah, right. Shadow just comes in.
Oh, a meal for my snake. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah. That will pose a problem to the local constabulary.
There's a body here?
Yeah.
You are also welcoming. Feeding my pet.
Yeah.
Do we? I mean, so we're approaching you guys off table or on out of character. We want to approach. Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, let's. I mean, I would say let's approach, and I think if they like as we get closer and people kind of move aside, especially for Shadow's sake, I just kind of turn to Shadow too and just ask, you know, how long, like, is it a recent kill or is it because she has temperature gauges so she can tell whether or not that thing's been there for a while or been dead for a while. And
yeah, and she is a supernatural being. Yeah. And she seems to have a dark sense of humor, is sort of what I'm getting from you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She says something along the lines of you know, I was waiting for you to notice. Your nose is not as quick as it has been these past few months. Perhaps you're losing your touch. She indicates that it's been there this whole time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get with the nose.
Right. She's sort of like playfully mocking you, like, well, I've known it was here. I smelled it a long time ago. You didn't smell it?
Well, I'm constantly smelling you, Shadow. So I don't know who else could smell anything else with you around. All right, so we have a dead body, you guys, that's been here for a while. I'll just even kind of mention to them too to Raylen and Lothar that the body's been there for a while,
and there's no indication. I mean, this body is clearly a dead body, right? There's nothing that might hint that it's coming back to life or in any way, shape, or form about to be undead.
I don't know, discern reality. I'm kidding.
Not that is immediately apparent now. It's very easy to see that there is a giant pool of blood around this man that was just soaked up by the shrubbery nearby, and there is a hole maybe this big around his chest,
Like in his chest.
through his chest.
Through
Like,
his chest.
yeah, like
Oh.
if you're tall enough to see, it goes clean through him, and you can see the grass underneath.
Any
Any eggs?
charring, or can we tell what kind of weapon?
What direction was the hole from the? Was it
Inside or out?
like if he's laying on his back? Does it look like it? Does it look like it came from something from the back or something from the front?
That
From the inside.
or something from the inside.
I was
That
gonna say something on the inside until he said you could see through him, and then
yeah,
it's
you
like,
can see
well,
through it. Is that's going to take a little bit more investigating, and I'm totally cool with you doing that. It just is going to take you actually like getting close and sort of like looking into the actual wound. Is that something you wanted to do, Lothar?
Do it, Lothar.
I feel like this is a setup.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's always a trap.
Only if you roll a 6-. I mean, I get to make a hard move, so it's this is what I love about this system is I do not implicate Jack. I only make the hard moves when you all roll the 6-.
I'm gonna ask Zathari's guard if he minds if we help try to figure out what happened.
Good idea. Good idea. It is at that moment that we will name him here. His name is Izek Starsny, and he is the captain of the guard at Vallachi. He is the man that you met at the western gate earlier, Raylen and Lothar. And Zathari, you might have seen him around, unless you want to spend your point and say you have some sort of relationship with him. But he comes, and what was it that you called yourself before, Raylen? You called yourself hunters of. What was the wording that you said earlier? Oh, we're professional, right?
Yeah,
we're
I think
professionals.
I just said hunters, undead hunters, maybe. I don't know.
Sure, yeah. Okay, captain of the guard is Izek Starsny, and lieutenant. Let's get a Romanian last name here. Lieutenant Darius. Lieutenant Darius is, the man who came to analyze, your salt circle. So, at first, Captain Starsny comes in, and he doesn't like you, Raylen. Like right immediately, he's like, "You bring dark tidings, indeed, adventurer." It just rolls off his tongue with bitterness. He said, "You bring dark omens. How is it that there is a dead body here?" And then Lieutenant Darius immediately jumps in and sort of defends you, and he says, "Captain, with all due respect, you can tell that this man was not killed now. These men just walked in through here. And besides, Captain, they said that they were adventurers, and they seem to know the ways against darkness. Perhaps they can help us." Captain Starsny is not happy about that, but he does see the logic behind it. He didn't get to be captain by being a fool, right? So to answer your question earlier, Lothar, he is going to begrudgingly allow you to study the body if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, I'll I'll go up to it and just kind of take a look and see, try and just kind of get a deal, like what I said, like I said earlier, like kind of what direction it came from, and like I think it was Asa that asked, burn marks or something. It's just kind of try to maybe get an idea of what happened, possibly.
I like it. It sounds like you're just doing like a visual look-see for now. Go ahead and roll discern realities as you study the matter.
Oh, man.
Can I ask a real quick question while he's rolling? So I was just looking through his character keeper just to see if he had any moves. And under one of his moves, he has something called a Shart Edict. Is that a typo or is it actually Shart Edict?
It's a typo. I just left it because I was wondering.
Okay, no, that's perfect.
Someone to notice.
I'm happy that it's there. I was like,
it's
just
supposed
curious.
to be Sharp Edict.
Okay,
a little joke.
I think we should go with Shart. I like it better.
But I mistyped it and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it to see if anybody notices.
If anybody notices, let's see if the DM is actually reading character sheets.
Discern reality is wisdom. Oh, phew. I got a +2, 7.
Awesome. Okay. So you get one question, I believe.
What happened here recently?
What happened here recently? This man was run through, and the angle, it looks like whatever ran him straight through did not come through at this angle, right? Like if this was the man, it seems to have come just barely at an angle. But it went straight through him, and he lost a bunch of blood, and there is viscera in there, but the wound is clean. It went straight through.
Was he attacked from the back or from the front?
That is a good question. The way that the buildings are, if you were to see like the angle that it came through, he would have been attacked from the front, and the building that the attacker would have had to like be on is the inn. There is no way that like there was a building on the other side that was like the other buildings are too far away. There's like park and marketplace, and sure enough, if you look at the area behind him where he would have fell, there is a hole in the ground that fits perfectly, like the same size of his wound. So
has there, as we've been walking around the town, and as we came in through the gates and the walls and all that stuff, have we noticed, or would even just we be aware of in the general world, like, are there like cannons and stuff, or anything obvious to us,
Or like, do we see a
around the block,
projectile?
something that would like, oh, a cannon made this wound, or would we have any kind of idea of what could have done this weapon wise? And have we seen anything like that around here?
I am going to hold on to that question, and then let me hear from Zathari. Or hold on to that question, Lothar. Let me hear from Zathari real quick.
So just one for sake of clarity, when you said that you then, like when you're describing the scene and whatnot, and then it came from an angle, it would have came from the thing. You mentioned something about something on the ground, and that's where the projectile is currently, right? I just wanted to, like, we know where the projectile is.
Yeah, you know where the projectile landed. The projectile's not there. Someone presumably came. It's not. Someone came and removed it.
Removed it.
Yeah. And then
Huh.
Raylan, did you have a question?
It was basically the same. I was wondering if there was a projectile, or if, I mean, are we convinced it was a projectile? We're not superstitious, the three of us, so maybe we might consider some kind of supernatural source, where the townspeople might not. So I think we're all just kind of thinking in the same vein.
I think
Or maybe some
the
kind of
towns,
spell or something.
yeah, I think the townspeople are actually doing the opposite. Raylan, they are a superstitious people in the valley of fantasy Transylvania, right? So in fact, they are like whispering of what it could be, and everything that you hear, you know, is supernatural in nature. In fact, it's something that you catch them saying over and over is, you know, it's the curse. It is the devil. The devil came and killed him. He must have angered him. It was the devil. The devil is the land. The devil is the land. That is what they're saying.
So as we as we're looking at the body and stuff and kind of, you know, trying to figure this stuff out, I'll update the two guards there with us, and then hearing those whispers, I'll ask, you know, has anything like this happened before, as far as, you know, a dude with a big hole in his chest type of deal.
Good question. The captain looks at you, and Lieutenant Darius looks at you, and they give you a look like they're not going to answer, but then they say, you know, perhaps you should meet us at, perhaps we should talk more about that after you've done your inspection. They're essentially saying, yes, it's happened before,
Yeah.
but they don't want to mention it in front of the people here. Yeah.
I'll just nod.
Yeah. All right. Zathari, if you inspect the projectile,
Yeah, I was planning on having Shadow smell around the body, but then also the projectile as well.
sounds good. They are not going to allow Shadow near the body. It's like, do not desecrate this body with this creature. We still don't know where it comes from. We allow you here, Elf, because you are good for business, and we, the Vallachi, are a gracious and welcoming people, unlike Barovia and the people around her. Is like, unlike Barovia, you know.
I'll
However,
turn to Shadow.
do not push us.
Well, you heard the man.
So they don't allow
And
him
then
around.
as we're walking then to the projectile, and I'll just ask, you got a good smell of it, right?
Yeah. Oh, like of the body?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she says, you know, she just looks at you like, well, duh. Yeah.
That's what I thought too. Okay. Sorry, I heard, okay, so earlier when I was like, I heard this, oh, coming from one of the kids' bedrooms, and I'm like, that's not normal. And so we believe John Paul was sleep talking or sleep dreaming, and he was fighting in his dream.
Oh, how cute. How cute. Yeah. I mean, but you know, Shadow's just sort of looking at you. Like, I mean, yeah, he's dead.
That's it. I mean, I can clearly see that, Shadow.
Yeah. Well,
Anything sus?
Do we so the information that Lothar received about something coming in from an angle could only be the inn. Did he share that with us?
Yeah.
I shared that with both the group and the guards.
cool.
So
Cool.
maybe we should go look at the inn, see if we can figure out, kind of get that vantage point.
Yeah. You could. Zathari, you don't need to roll discern realities here with this bit that I'm about to give you.
Mhm.
You know, because you are a marksman, that that hole in the ground was created by an arrow or a spear. If a
That big.
right,
So very
right.
large. A mace. A
Yeah,
lance.
like a spear. If like a troll, if trolls were spearmen, which they're not, that's not
Mhm.
their preferred weapon. But if
Right.
trolls could throw spears and did so well, that's what this would be. Yeah.
Mhm.
Raylan, we can cut to you on the roof doing detective work. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, there's nothing more fantasy trope than the nimble dwarf climbing the roof.
Indeed, roll defy danger with -7. No, I'm
I
just kidding.
know.
Yeah, we'll cut to the roof, but before that, Brett, I'm gonna use your I am going to use one of these points, give you a fleeting memory from the past that give you +1 or -1 forward, tell you something your memories want you to do or say. When you roll a miss, take temporary control over you, give you a fleeting memory from the past that gives you +1 or -1 forward. Lothar, you have this compulsion. You begin looking at the viscera in this man, and you compulsively want to stick your hand in it and feel the entrails and the inside of this man. There is something about his easily accessible ribs that you could feel in your hands. You've done this before and you miss it. It has been what feels like tens of years, hundreds of years since you've done this, and you terribly, terribly want to. If you do, you're gonna freak everybody out. And you're gonna make yourself maybe not suspicious, because you can maybe play it off as like, this is part of my investigation, this is what we do. If you do it and you stick your hands in there and look like you're enjoying it, you're gonna get an XP, but you don't have to.
I am not going to do that, just because I've seen how the townspeople have been treating a person with a covered face and a large spoopy snake, and I so far am the most normal-ish looking person in our group, and I am
which is saying something.
ruin that current advantage.
Yeah, considering you're like an angel of death. A reaper of the underworld. Yeah, cool. I do get another point here to use later, but you know, you hold back your compulsion, but something inside you knows that given the right equipment and the right knowledge and the right time, you could mend this wound of this corpse. You could make it better than it was before, and there's something inside you that is terribly curious about studying it, and that is all I would say of that now.
I will I will ask the guards just to to try and further help help you guys figure out what's going on, what happened to this poor man. If uh, if later on here, once the body is out of view of the crowd and everything, so as to not freak anybody else out, if I can continue just to try and investigate this a little more and try and help figure out what happened.
Okay, so just to summarize, because I lost audio a little bit there, you're saying that you're asking them to clear the crowd so that you have room
No,
to...
just to once the body is essentially, whatever their version of a morgue is.
Yeah,
If I can help, if I can take a closer look, but I don't want to do anything with the crowd to, just to freak anybody out or to, possibly contamination of the investigation with all the people around here.
indeed. Sounds good. Yeah, when you say that and you talk about moving the body, they the lieutenant screams, we must move this body soon. Summon the butcher. Summon the butcher. Summon the butcher. It gets screamed across. You know that in a town this size, the butcher might also be the doctor, and also the mortician, and a pallbearer probably. Raylan, we cut to you on the roof doing detective work, and you don't need to roll to find a dagger on the roof. It is a ceremonial dagger. It is beautiful. It is expertly made. And let me see. Let's see if I can find a picture. Please holding.
I 100% know my next move, so you just tell me when you're ready for it.
Cool. I will say that it is curved and it is red, gold, and black.
It looks to be one of a kind, yes.
Yeah.
I want to dramatically take the dagger and throw it into the ground at the feet of the guards, and tell them to ask them to identify whose dagger it is.
From the inn.
From the roof.
Dude, if you roll a miss, you're gonna cause problems.
You're gonna kill someone there, man.
I'm not gonna kill anyone with a dagger.
There's still a
I'm gonna get
crowd.
this crowd on our side.
Wow. Yeah. So tell me.
If he targets us right, he's gonna be looked at as like a wit.
No,
Tell
I'm
me.
I'm a professional hunter killer.
Yeah. Tell me. What you're hoping to. What are you hoping to do here?
Well, I
Yeah.
think the end result, after the fun of throwing the dagger, is to get the guards to look at the dagger, or the crowd even to look at it. So someone might be like, "Oh, that's George's dagger," and so we can figure out who might have been on the roof.
Oh,
Go that route. But
gotcha. You're trying to do something provocative,
yeah,
and
like,
hope that someone will speak out. I mean, the crowd is here. I like it.
crowds. I figure if I'm on the roof and I throw it in the ground, it's gonna
Sure.
everyone's attention's gonna go to it.
Oh, sure.
Anyone recognize it?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
we can go.
I love it. I love it so much. You should know though that the dagger is curved, and it's not made for throwing. It definitely looks like an assassin's weapon, but you can still do it.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, make it so. Go ahead and defy danger charisma.
Fight danger.
Does anyone recognize this dagger?
And can I have 2 bolsters remaining from the
inn.
I want to use a bolster on this roll if I can.
Sounds good.
Oh boy.
Let's do this with the bolsters. If you use it before you roll with advantage. So you roll 3 d6s and take the top
What's
2.
a bolster?
Oh, thank God, because I rolled a 3.
Okay, so a bolster is it's one of the moves that doesn't get used often, but it's like a preparation move, and it's on the moves list.
Basically, it says if you spend time studying, like on your downtime, so when you spend your leisure time studying, meditating, or practice, you gain preparation. And then depending on the time frame, you get these preparations.
It's a basic move.
It is a special move.
special move of yours? No.
Just
Nope.
in general.
Where are the special moves at?
Don't think he's got them there.
He doesn't have them
I
there.
don't.
Jeez. GM.
Do like a quick Google foo.
Here, I got it right here.
It's fine.
It's in the chat.
There we go.
That's just a
Schmecks.
cheat. I keep that cheat sheet up
Hey,
just while we play, just so I can have it.
hey.
There we go.
And then over on the left-hand side, you can click on bolster. It'll take you right to it in the document.
Oh, wow.
Do you like the rolling with advantage if you use it before?
Well, I hope so, because I either got a 3
Uh-huh.
or a 10.
Cool.
So I'll take the 10.
You'll take the 10. Sounds good. I think you're gonna throw it. It's going to dramatically land in front of the lieutenant, and you see the face of recognition, and he says, "Oh, not again." And then we'll cut the commercial there. Let's take a quick 5-minute bio break. Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay, 32 after. Let's come back. And we're back to World
So
of
then I say,
Barovia.
does this look infected? Oh, we're recording. Sorry.
Thankfully, your face does not look infected yet. It does look gruesome. Okay, awesome. So it is very clear that Lieutenant Darius has seen this before, that Captain Starsny has seen this before. And now the people of Barovia are like, there's a hubbub amongst them, but you rolled well, so this is not in no way is this going to turn against you. The people of Barovia though are asking the captain, it's like, is this true? Is this true? People, please, I need you to calm down. This is not the first death of its kind. And everyone was like, oh, yeah. Who was it? Who was it? Who was that? Did they die similarly? They're like, do you believe this is the work of the devil? The devil, it's the devil. The devil roams the land. It is the love of people. Please, let us leave superstition aside. Okay. Yes, they died similarly. No, it was not the devil. And there was another similar dagger found at the scene. Who was it? Tell us who it was. And that's when they say it was the other brother. It was the other brother Wagner. And they're like, oh, the Wagner brothers, they're both dead. They're dead. What will become of Pietra, or not Pietra, excuse me, of, hold on, what is her name? No, because Pietro is our guy.
That would have made it easy to find.
I know, right? Yeah. It's Pellinor Wagner. What will happen to Pellinor? Pellinor, her 2 heirs. What will Pellinor do? So these 2 men who were dead are both brothers. Their last name is Wagner. Their mother's name is Pellinor, and now she is childless. This has all come out from your dramatic throw here, Raylan. Well done.
I'm gonna ask the guards when did the last one happen?
That is a good question. Please let us go. Let us go to the armory. The butcher is there. He's a very large man, and he's there with like a big, I guess tarp would be the right. Yeah, probably tarp. Yeah, Zathari, do you want to study the body before they take it away? No. Okay.
No.
Raylan, do you want to study the body before they take it away? No. Okay, we're not going to study the body. Very well. Okay, you are all going to meet at the armory, which is on the second floor of the town hall. There's a couple cells. There seems to be a man who's asleep in one of the cells. Otherwise, it looks like an armory, slash, constabulary. And yeah, in the 19th century. The body is there as well. They tell you that he was found in a back alley of Vallachi, and he's got the same sort of hole in his chest. And this man looks like the other one. He's clearly one of the Wagner brothers. So, Lothar, what do you want to do?
When, how long ago did this happen?
Yeah, so it's been hours. It was last night. So they were both killed in the same night. So they came for these brothers, man, back to back. Whoever did this. Also at the armory, there is another dagger like the one that Raylan threw.
Are there any other siblings of this family?
No, these were the last. These were the last of the Wagners. Period.
Oh, so parents are gone too.
Who were the
No,
Wagners?
these were the last of the. So Pellinor Wagner is still alive. But these were the last of, like, what I mean is, like, these two men were childless and unmarried. Yeah.
So the last of the line.
There is the last of the line. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
What
Daddy's still
exactly
around,
did they
huh?
do?
No, Dad is dead too.
Oh, well,
Yeah, Father
was
Wagner is dead.
Pelham
It's just Pellinor Wagner, the mother. What were you saying,
the
Raylan?
mom, a black
Like,
widow.
what do we know? Like, what they do? What they're, were they the mayor of the town? Were they like what was their role here?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let me give this. Let me give them names. One of them is Mikhail Wagner.
I'm gonna look at the guard and say, Wagner, I don't even know her, and I'm gonna elbow him like.
He's gonna look at you, and he is going to go, but he's gonna keep a straight face. Like, you made him chuckle a little. Mikhail Wagner and Alexei Wagner are the two men. And what was the last question? Oh, what they did. They were both, what would be like a family business? They were both, it's like an 18th century profession out here.
They were tailors.
They were tailors. I like it. I like it. Yeah. Just regular men with regular jobs. Although being a tailor is, I mean, they're tradesmen. So, I mean, they had money.
So I would ask the guards who clearly know the Wagner brothers if they know, like, did anyone have it out for them? Is there any, any fights recently? Did anybody any money?
They don't own anybody any money. The business is going well. Does anybody have anything for them? It's like, no, they were, perfectly amicable, friendly men of the town, just like everyone here in Vallachi. Yeah. Now,
Well,
when
that's all
the
I've
reason
got.
I shake my head is because people here are not very friendly. It's like their version of friendly, right? Yeah. And then what was your other question? That was
That
it.
was it. Just if anyone had anything against him or just
Yeah.
looking for motive and suspects.
Yeah. The lieutenant seems to know something. And I am going to introduce another mechanic here. We're going to have a track of dread. That's what I'm calling it. Okay. And this is how dread works. Dread, as a move, I can assign you all a point of dread. Dread is supernatural darkness, both actual and proverbial, that hangs over Barovia. The more dread a character has, the more his or her spirits are weighed down by the darkness of the realm. When a character's dread exceeds 3 points on her dread track, something is going to happen. Something that is in line with the fiction. I won't tell you what that is quite yet. But there is a new move. Get the truth. The people of Barovia are a secretive bunch, and they have been oppressed by the supernatural darkness that hangs over their realm. Barovians are always keeping secrets. Most of them are minor, but a few Barovians know the real state of things in the realm. When you try to get the truth out of someone, roll plus your dread up to a maximum of 4. On a hit, clear 1 dread. On a 10, pick 2. On a 7 to 9, pick 1 from this list. They cannot mislead you with the truth. They cannot confuse you with falsehoods. They cannot stonewall you with silence. If you have leverage over them, you trigger Parlay 2.0 instead. So here's the thing, Raylen. You're not going to trigger Parlay 2.0 because the lieutenant seems to know him personally. He's in fact going to say under his breath, he's going to say like, he was my friend. And he's going to say that about Mikhail. And you're not really going to be able to roll partly because you're not going to have leverage over them. So, but you can roll get the truth if you'd like.
Do I not have to have dread for that?
I am glad you asked. Lothar, you're going to get a point of dread from your experience in the woods. Raylan, you're going to get 2 points of dread, 1 for your experience in the woods, 1 because it was Van Richten, and the man is a famous vampire hunter. To see something like that go down, that is bad.
And could you possibly post that dread mechanic somewhere?
I can and I will. I'll actually put it up on. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen. When you get to 4 points of dread, you are each going to get a derangement. And we will discuss what derangements are, but they're very much like what they sound like. It's not a good thing.
4 points total or 4 points communal?
4 points on the track, individual. Yeah, so let me post the dread move. I'm gonna post it on the Facebook chat. Actually, no, it might fit here. There you go. Assign the point of dread. And then new player move, get the
Did you
truth.
put it in Facebook or Zoom?
I actually put it on the Zoom chat.
I did not get it.
It's because I sent it to Michael only. My bad. Let me send it to everyone. And then I'm gonna
I
send
try to
this.
get a truth roll plus dread plus derangements, which I don't have. When I hit clear 1 dread. Okay, so yes, I will try to get the truth. I
Okay.
don't really know what to ask though.
You could say, you seem to know more here.
All right, so what am I rolling? Plus dread, which is 2 for me.
Yeah, but give me a little bit of fiction as you try to get secrets out of this man.
I would say I can tell from his under the breath mutterings about how he was a friend. He seems very shaken up, vulnerable almost like, and from my perspective, it looks like he actually wants to talk more. But maybe just due to the natural suspicion of Barovians and stuff, he's not going to be super forthcoming. So I want to give him a nudge.
Yeah, he's not going to be super forthcoming. And there's also something about Barovians that they're willing to open. They're more willing to open up to someone who has seen some stuff, which is why the more dread you have, the more likely they are to open up to you. So, yeah. All right, go ahead and roll +2 dread.
I swear, this rolling app is broken. I promise.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry.
I got a 5.
You got a 5. And then Zathari, I'm going to give you a point of dread just from having been in Barovia as long as you have. So we're going to assume that you have seen some stuff as well. Okay, what hard move am I going to do here?
I'll just take another point of dread.
Maybe. I'm trying to think of what makes fictional sense here. I will I'll hold on to that hard move for now. Raylen and Zathari, you all haven't studied either of the bodies. I don't know if that's something you want to do.
Is there a giant hole in the chest of the first brother, of the other brother?
Mhm. There is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the one that wants to, touch the tendrils. So I don't know. I think what makes sense for me is to have Shadow kind of see if she can get any sense off of the daggers. If there's anything there that's useful because she can track. So if she comes across that smell somewhere else, she could find someone. But as far as the body goes, yeah.
Ooh.
So.
Oh yeah, she you hold up the daggers to Shadow, and snakes smell through their
tongue.
through their tongue. Yeah, so she's like on the dagger, and she's like, smells of death.
I was hoping maybe a name.
If you hold up the other one, he tells you these belong to the same man. Yes, the stink of man is on this.
Okay. Well, if we come across that smell again, let me know.
Sounds good. How does tracking work? Like, is there a move with that, or?
No, it's just so from my understanding, when it comes to a companion, and let me, that one of her, hold on. Search scout. I mean, I'm assuming if she can search and scout, that's like track, right?
Yeah, that's more for like the wilderness though.
Right.
She might be able to in the yeah,
Maybe
she might
not.
be able to.
But there's not really a move set like that they base off of. It's not like roll to do this. It's more so if you're gonna attack together, then they add to your attack.
Oh, I see.
But there's not like you don't roll for them. It's kind of like this. It's almost like if they're trained to do something, it's like it becomes like automatic for them. Like if a dog knows how to dig a hole, bury something, it knows how to dig a hole and bury something.
Gotcha. I will say that because of the nature of the murderer and the nature of shadow, that you would get a +1 forward on discern realities if you're studying the body, and you're asking about the killer.
It sounds like I should look at the body. I mean, I'm just
Not
kind of hearing it.
necessarily.
Well, I mean, you brought it up 3 times now. Anyone want to look at the body before we go to the next place?
I mean, like, that's what we're
Anyone-
here. Well, you're studying the daggers. You can also do a discern realities on the daggers. That would make sense as well.
Dude, your background is like freaking you out.
You just see a floating head.
And like
Yeah. I'm kind of I moved to the living room so I could sit on a couch, but I don't have as much
okay.
light. Yeah.
Do we?
Well, yeah, and I think it makes I think it makes my shirt more green, because like when I bring my water bottle up, I don't know if you guys noticed this before, but like it like will go around. Like earlier when I was at the table where it was well lit, you could just see my hand holding nothing. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
I
put
think
close-
it wants like a green screen, and that's why it's freaking out at
right.
your shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raylan, you had a question?
Yeah. Do we? I guess he would have to tell us. I was trying to think from like. I want to try to get the guards and the butcher kind of away and leave Lothar with the bodies. But fictionally, I don't know that I would know that.
Tell me about that. Why would you want to do that?
Because he's a reaper who inhabits dead
a
bodies.
dead
and
body?
might be able to.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know enough about the reaper themselves if they're able to.
Do I feel
So-
that same compulsion with this body?
fictionally, I guess
I'm glad that you asked that. I am going to give you a vision here, and I'm going to use that other point. As you are looking at the body on on this wooden table, you're gonna have like those memories like we see in the movie, you know, like a superimposed other location, right? It's like sort of like a flashback, and in your mind's eye, you're going to see a similar dead body on a stone slab, and we are going to see you working with the dead, you know, or you're going to feel like from your point of view, you know, you're like overlooking the dead, like working with them, working on them, maybe. So I'm going to give you a +1 forward if you examine the other body here, Lothar. I think that makes sense. So
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna. So as there, like Asa was saying, then who else is in the room with us here right now? The guards.
the captain, the lieutenant, the butcher, and that's it. Oh, and then whoever's in the jail.
So did the butcher then? Did he bring so are both bodies in here in this one?
Both bodies are in there now. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll ask first of the butcher, since he seems to be like the mortician type of guy, if he would mind if I take a closer look at both of these bodies now that the public is away.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you know, essentially the lieutenant convinced the captain to, you know, like he's vouched for you. So yeah, you guys have free reign to do your inspection. So yeah, tell me what it looks like on screen as you inspect this other brother.
So yeah, I'll go up to him, and he's been dead for a little longer, so he's he's got a little bit of the discoloration and puffiness going on. There's a definite smell, and but he's not as compared to the other body, you know, that's maybe still in rigor. Rigor's kind of faded a little bit more from this one. So yeah, Lothar will walk up to him, and just take a look and kind of compare and since they got presumable permission to really get into depth with this, then he'll actually start like examining the internals and stuff like that.
Sounds good. You're actually gonna stick your hand into this man?
Yep.
Okay. It's gruesome. I love it. Go ahead and roll, and you're gonna get +1 forward.
Is it just a straight roll? Is there a stat attached to this?
It is wisdom, I believe, when you do discern realities.
Wisdom. Mathing.
Did you roll a miss?
No. There, 9.
9. Okay. Maybe we can get someone to aid here if they wanted to. You're on mute, Raylan.
Someone want to help poke around?
I could help.
I was going to say, you probably don't want my aid with the way I'm rolling.
Yeah, no. And Zathari is actually wise, whereas Raylan is not.
Indeed.
Okay.
So
Truth.
what would I do?
Zathari, you're gonna roll plus wisdom. And you might be able to bump him up to 10 here.
Eight.
8. Okay. So you go up by 1, but then you open yourself up to any danger or complication. Okay, sounds good. So you get 3 questions here, Lothar. And I love the idea that maybe Zathari is noticing you like sticking your hands into this man and liking it. And maybe the way that Zathari aids you is by being like, whoa, hey, look over here, and distracting everyone else in the room so that you have time to work.
Use a snaky distraction.
Yeah.
I'll use shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Awesome.
tends to get that attention.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. If she curls up, everyone's going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Mind your snake, elf.
It's half elf. Not that that matters to you all. She's
They're gonna-
hungry.
They're going to look at each other when you say half elf, and they're going to start laughing. Like you legitimately made a joke. But it's more, well, this is Vallachi,
funny.
so it's going to be more like, this. Look at this jokester right here. That's a good one. All right, go ahead, Lothar. What do you want to ask?
Ooh, let's do what here is not what it appears to be.
Ooh, what here is not what it appears to be. Tell me what does this appear to you all so far? Because like I know the module, right? So maybe like I think that I'm being very clear about something and maybe I'm not. So let's just go around the table and say, what does this appear like to you so far? Brett, Asa, and Mike.
I don't think I understand the question. What do you mean by what does it appear to?
If you were to summarize to someone that isn't playing about this murder mystery that you've walked to, how would you describe it?
It almost seems like a hit,
Mhm,
and the knives were the calling card.
mhm. That part is exactly what it appears to be. Yeah. What about you, Asa?
I mean, I have no additional thought. It seems to me that that's what it is.
Yeah. Same with you, Mike. Right.
We are looking for a really big crossbow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The weapon is unusual, right?
Yeah.
Weapon is extremely unusual.
And the fact that they had time to go and take it
Mhm.
back,
Mm-hmm.
that's another kind of weird thing too.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because that part isn't weird. If this man died at night, it's actually weirder that he was out at night. You know this, Michael. The Vallachi don't leave their homes at night. Never, ever, never, ever.
Never, ever, ever know.
Ever, never, never, ever.
Hmm.
Yeah. You've heard things, well, that's not true. I mean, like, they might leave if like they live right next to the inn and it's just like from one place to another, or like if
But
they're
why?
going to, they fear the
They
night.
live in a guarded town.
They fear the night. The devil walks at night.
Mm.
You've heard, I
Who's
mean,
the
if you've sat at
devil?
the inn, huh?
Who's the devil?
Ooh, that's a good question. Who is the devil? You want to use your point here? You can, or you can hold on to it. Actually, no.
I'll
I mean,
hold
if
on to it.
you want to hold on to it?
We're getting
Who-
sidetracked. Sorry.
No, because I mean, this actually might be, you know what? Let's do a flashback scene. Zathari, you are at the inn. Is Shadow with you, or did you leave her outside?
Of course, Shadow's with me.
Okay, so the
My
best
companion.
that they can do with you is like she stays at the stables, and even that is
Fine.
like, okay, yeah, cool,
She'll
but
eat a
she's
horse
nearby.
whole.
Yeah, but she might could, and in fact, that's like a real concern for some of the customers. Okay, but you are going to get a patron there with enough drinking in them that they will that they are chatting you up about Vallachi and Barovia, right? But remember, these are people full of secrets. So yeah. So they tell you about, not walking alone at night. That's just courtesy. You ask about the devil, and this person says the devil walks, the devil walks the land. The devil is the land. The devil knows all. And when you ask, well, who is the devil? This is where like you're gonna have to roll get the truth if you want to.
Ooh. Let's do it.
New mechanic, I know.
What am I rolling?
You're rolling plus dread, which you have 1 point of dread
That's it.
so far.
Dread. Well, like dread plus, like it's not a wisdom or anything. It's just roll plus dread.
Yeah, you're rolling
right?
plus dread plus derangements, which you also don't have yet, but presumably, yeah.
I got a 6.
Oof, that is rough. Go ahead.
Yay, experience.
Yeah,
Can
go.
Can that be aided?
No, this,
Dread roll?
this is a flashback, so
Oh, okay. You're
Yeah.
right,
I'm going to assign you a point of dread as a hard move. As you hear, and it may not be chilling to you out of character, but in character, it certainly is chilling, and it will haunt you at night, and you will have nightmares about this. It is late at night. There's no one around. This man bends over and he says, I dare not speak his name, for speaking his name will only draw his attention. But the devil is the Lord of Barovia. And he's legit terrified. The Lord of Barovia is a curse. He is a curse upon all the people here. We broke our ways away from the morning father, and he has left. That is why no light shines on Barovia ever. The fact that the devil is here is our fault. It has always been our fault. And now he haunts the land. And like his eyes are bloodshot and he looks like he's like about to burst into tears.
But he doesn't have a name, huh?
Oh, he has a name. Of course he has a name. We dare not speak his name lest we will draw his attention. Do you hear me, man?
then write it down. ATRST STRAUD.
What's H?
I am not at work.
That's not H. That's you.
H.
That's you.
There you go. Spell it again. I'm not working. I'm done.
Brett is up. So this man cannot read or write, but he knows his letters and he knows this name. He has to call over the innkeeper, and they get into an argument in Barovian. But between the two of them, they finally manage to get it to scribble it onto a piece of wood, right? To carve it in. They show it to you, and it says the Devil's Strahd. And as soon as the Devil's Strahd, and as soon as you read it, they throw it into the fire, and the fire goes like supernaturally so. And then we just see on screen you being pushed out of the inn, and the man like putting his cloak on his head, and he's like, and he literally goes like out of the inn and like into his house, which is like right there. So. So we are back. Brett still has some questions, or Lothar, you still had questions, yeah?
Yeah. So I don't know if we got an answer. What?
Yeah.
Here's not what it appears to be.
Well, here's not what it appears to be. I think the answer, I know it's kind of boring, but it's exactly what it appears to be, right? It's a hit. But I will tell you this, if it was a hit, then you can start interviewing the people of the town and finding out more about them, right? We know that they didn't know any money. We know that they didn't, their business is not in trouble. We know that they were well-liked citizens, right? There is one other thing, and I will hold on to it. Go ahead and ask me your two other questions. And maybe we'll give one question to Mike since he ate it. Is that cool with you? Okay, cool.
Let's do for my last one. What should I be on the lookout for in terms of like maybe trying to
Yeah.
get a better idea of like the actual weapon, maybe, or what caused this?
Yeah. What should I be on the lookout for? We're gonna have a flashback of you studying the body outside and caught in one of the thorns is a piece of linen that seems to have broken off from an article of clothing. It got caught in the Knight's Bane. So you should be on the lookout for someone who would wear linen of this particular kind. It seems to be dyed in a dark green. It's very unusual. The people of Barovia all wear browns and grays and blacks. There's a very, very unusual color here. Yeah. Mike, do you want to ask a question?
No, I think I'm good for right now.
Okay.
I don't know what else to ask at the moment, unless someone else has an idea.
Well, it's from the Discern Realities list.
Oh.
Mhm.
And I have one. How do I have one?
Because you ate it. I asked Brett
Because I ate it.
if it would be cool if you asked one. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Let me. And Brett, what did you ask?
What is not what it appears to be, and what should I be on the lookout for?
Okay. What here is useful or valuable to me? And if you can hold 1 second, I have a child yelling from his bedroom for
Oh,
mom.
no.
So I will be right back.
Sure. Hold.
You've seen the Blue Harvest video, the Family Guy to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
When you just did that, ooh no, it reminds me of when that guy plays Greedo. Ooh, boo, bop, boo, solo.
That's exactly who I'm channeling. Unta punta chanta wampa solo. Oh no.
Sorry about earlier, Asa. I thought you were done talking, and then I started talking, and then I didn't. Then I couldn't stop when I realized that you were still trying to say something. So I don't. I hope I didn't like cut you off anything important or nothing there.
Let me tell you how upset I was by it. I have no idea when it happened. So it didn't register with me. So you're good.
He's back. Oh man.
He's back.
Everyone stop talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Although
can
we
hear you
can't
the whole
really
time,
do
you
that
guys.
because it's recorded. So like he can
Yeah.
go back and watch.
Plus,
what
I got
we said
these
about it.
in.
Cool.
Still listening.
So your question was, what here is useful or valuable to me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Zathari, you know about the Vistani. And the Vistani are analogous to the Romani in our world. It's what some people would call gypsies, even though that name is apparently a racial slur. So I think Roma is the correct word. So the Vistani, they will they are a lively people. They actually do joke and laugh and play music. And they're the only ones in Barovia that you've seen do that. And they do things like gamble and drink and play music. And on Mikhail, there is something. Oh, and then they're very famous for telling fortunes and reading the cards. So there is something on Mikhail that you find that that shows that he has recently been with the Vistani. What is it?
And just to like clarify too, he's still fully clothed. It's not like it's like in a morgue where like we stripped them down to nothing. They're still in their clothes then, I take it.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
will allow you to strip them if you
Well, I mean,
so
I'm
want to.
not wanting to. I'm just asking.
Yeah,
what
no, they're
the
not
current
stripped.
state of the bodies are. Okay.
That's a good question. I think Alexei they just brought in, so he's still clothed, but Mikhail is not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but he's covered.
Yeah, I'm gonna say then that he has like I guess the only thing that is coming to mind off the top of my head is what like henna tattoo, like kind of the drawn on stuff that he has a little bit of artwork.
That's awesome.
Maybe on his forearm or on it or maybe on his rib cage that would have been hidden otherwise.
Very cool. Very cool. Maybe you get close and smell it and it's, it's fresh. I will also add that he has a wound on his hand from a knife. You can tell because you're a hunter, right? And he's probably been playing with the Vistani. You've seen the Vistani do this. We get another flashback of they're the only ones that you've seen play this, right? And they play for money. So yeah, you catch both those things. So what here is useful or valuable to you? Looking for Vistani to question them would be useful or valuable to you. Visiting Palinor Wagner would be useful or valuable to you. I'll tell you one more thing, and here is something that Lothar would be useful or valuable to you. The door swings open, and a young woman of maybe 19 or 20 walks in, and she is desperate and she's crying. And Lieutenant Darius steps in and he says, "Minnie, no." And she's like, "Let me see him. I want to see him." And like she fights her way with like a rush of adrenaline. She fights her way through and leans next to Alexei and like is like, and like touches his face. And he's like, "My sweet Alexei, no." And she falls on her knees and begins crying. It seems like Mikhail and Alexei Wagner were not the, businessmen focused bachelors that everyone, thought they were. Captain Starsny turns to Lieutenant Darius and he says, "What is this? What? Minerva? Alexei?" And Lieutenant Darius is like, "Look, it wasn't my business to tell. Okay, they were going to go off and get married and not tell anyone. And it wasn't my place, but I was going to be their best man at the wedding and the witness." Lieutenant Darius goes up to Minerva and picks her up, and he's like, "We should go. If you guys try to question her, she's not in a state to be questioned now, but you guys have a chance to maybe talk to her as well." So Lieutenant Darius turns to Lieutenant Darius turns to Captain Starsny and says, not a word about this to anyone." Okay. And then they leave. So you guys have a couple leads. I hope that helps. Yeah. And it's almost 12:30. I think that's a good time to stop for tonight. And you guys can sort of like brew on this during the week about what you guys want to do next week. So is that good for you all?
Poor Raylan didn't even get his face fixed yet.
I feel no pity for the man because he did the coolest thing I have seen in Dungeon World in a long time, is throw that dagger from the roof and, and the whole crowd.
I love how that went from a complete fuck up with that 3 to everything worked out fine with a 10.
Yeah, Raylan is definitely like this right now. Like the wins are big and then the losses are big, but you earned a bunch of experience point, my friend. Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's do the end of session move here. When you reach the end of a session, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved. We don't use bonds, we use flags. So let's see if any flags were hit today. I remember these have to be with other players and not with NPCs. So for Zathari, trust me with a secret you would never tell anyone else. And anybody tell Zathari any secrets? No. Offer me some treasure to get me to do something I normally would not do. Anyone? No? Okay.
I don't think we hit any flags.
We didn't hit any flags?
I hit that flag.
Yeah?
I gave him a ring and told him he had to comfort Pietro.
Oh.
I don't know if that's not necessarily something he wouldn't normally do. I just don't remember him being a touchy-feely character.
I don't think Zathari would do that. So, Mike, would you say that was a flag he hit?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, you each get an experience for that. Well done. Seek my help finding information. Anybody seek Raylan's help? No? That's a good one for like a discern realities, and it's like, hey, aid me here. You know, you can pull in Raylan for that. Ask my advice in making a place defensible. No. Ask me about a history of a place. And seek my help in finding information. Seek my help in finding information. No, I don't think anybody like blatantly had role-playing moments where that happened. No. Okay, cool.
And we can change our flags from session to session. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can make up your own flags. You know, granted, as long as you're not trying to
Free experience.
yeah, game the
Something
game,
dumb.
right?
Yeah.
And be like, say my name to my face. Hit that flag every time. Cool. Let's look at drives. Gain knowledge about and further favor with Quetzal. I'm gonna give Michael that one because we have been dealing with the dead body. And I feel like Quetzal is definitely down with this sort of stuff. Raylan, reconnection. Draw closer to rediscovering your connection with Hervanthi.
I don't think so.
No, but let's add something to this one. Draw closer to rediscovering your connection with Hervanthi, or what were the name of the dwarves? I named them.
Duril Mall, I think.
Yes. Yes, the Duro Mall. Okay, yeah. Do you want to do that, Asa?
What would we be adding?
I'm writing it in, and if you don't like it, we can change it back to what it was. But
No,
draw
that's
closer
fine.
to rediscovering your connection with Harvanthi or the Duro Mall. How's that?
Yeah.
Awesome. I will
How do
didn't
I
hit either tonight,
change
though.
experience?
say that again, Michael.
Never mind, I figured it out. Ignore me.
Okay, I gave you an experience for your drive, by the way, if you didn't hear that. Okay, and Raylan, we got a shot as you were walking through the market of the blacksmith is also a short man with no hair, very stocky built. And yes, the answer is you both look like really short, stocky humans, but you know that he's not just that. So yeah, but we'll just say that you were, and your head was in the case, and so you can always go and visit that blacksmith again later. And then to drive for Lothar, work towards freeing the land from the grip of the undead. I don't think you did that this time. No. Okay, cool. We didn't hit any drives. Let's see what else. We also have questions. Did we learn something new and important about the world? Yeah, you guys learned a bunch about Barovia. So you each take a point of experience for that. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? No. Did we loot a memorable treasure? No. No. Yeah. I'm curious, Asa, how much experience did you get from misses today?
Just 2.
Just 2.
I
Okay.
rolled 5 times and got 3 misses.
Okay. But you were
Well,
aided
let me-
one of those?
But one of them wasn't. Maybe it was 3. Maybe I didn't mark one. Hold on. Trying to look at the history here.
Okay.
The loot a valuable thing or whatever, would our flashback rolls with the grabbing something as we left the vampire guild, would that count towards that?
Probably not, because I think those are more like mundane items and maybe even cash. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2 because I think the third roll was the one that didn't count because I did the with advantage. I think
Okay,
it was
cool.
just 2.
Cool. I thought it was a lot worse than that. And yeah, okay, cool. Let's do stars and wishes. I will go. I'll start with Michael, and then work our way to the right. Michael, stars and wishes. G.
Stars. Thank you guys for catching me up on to speed. So all y'all, thank you for that. It was kind of weird coming in mid session, so I apologize for not being able to attend that one time, and I don't know why it's like cutting into my face, but anyway, so thank you for that. And wishes, I want to see some vampires. I want us to put a stake through one of them, specifically Strahad. That would be fun. I can only guess what that was named after.
Strahd.
Yeah.
He's the It's the name of the module. Chris Strahd. You can't even see it. Are you talking about like who he was modeled after? Like, is he not Dracula?
I'm being facetious.
Okay. But is Strahd like a word? Like, is it named something? Or do you mean
No.
like, oh
And
no.
there's another character too. There's other characters in the realm of vampires with that name. And so it was like, never ignore me.
Oh, now I really want to know. You can't leave me hanging like
Just
that.
ignore me. I'm being
No,
stupid.
I'll just bug you
I'm
all.
being stupid.
I'll bug you all night until you tell me what you bet.
I'll tell you when you give me your handle.
Okay, yeah, we'll do. Cool. Asa, stars and wishes.
Stars and wishes to everyone for getting their background set up. So good job. It's interesting. Not that it makes that big of a difference, but it's kind of cool. I think my biggest wish for tonight. Well, actually, before I get into a wish, I have a housekeeping thing that I made a note of that I want to bring up because this plays into my wish a little bit. So last week, I think you said that we were not going to deal with Strahd as the big bad in this session. So based on that, I don't know. Tonight felt a little bit like we were spinning our wheels to find out about Strahd if he's not going to. And I understand laying the groundwork, but so maybe I guess my wish would be like more focused on our next, because we've only got like 5 sessions left, I think, or I don't even know how many we have.
Yeah, and that was part of my my housekeeping question was I just want to know how many Sundays we're playing. Is it until the 29th?
I mean, I don't really care because I don't really have anything going on Sunday nights,
Okay.
but I know you guys play other games and stuff, so.
We do. I'll talk about that with Michael, but okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, oh, a lot of talk about Strahd for him not being the big bad. Right?
Right.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I thought, and kind of in tune with, along that same vein,
Mhm.
and I guess maybe this is a PBTA thing, the play to find out thing, but it did feel like we got bogged down with the investigation somewhat tonight. If that makes, so I guess my wish would be maybe just to not even like Mike was saying with getting the vampires, but just to progress it a little bit more.
That's good
Maybe a
feedback.
wish.
That's good feedback. That helps with my pacing. Thank you. Michael, you agree with that? With the pacing of the investigation? Good to know. Good to know. Okay, Brett.
Guys, it just feels like we got bogged down because Francisco talks so slow. Remember?
He did tell us that. That's true.
That the video revealed.
Stars to Asa with the that really ballsy, risky, but it would really look cool on the camera with the ceremonial knife. That either way that played out was even if he had been stuck with that 3, I mean, it probably would have gotten messy, but it still would have been interesting. And stars to Mike and Cisco for the snake interactions are pretty fun. And wishes, I just same as always, just keep playing, and I'm kind of like Asa as far as I don't really have anything on Sundays, so I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we can keep this going until it's done.
Sounds good.
I got one more wish. I'm gonna need you
5 years later.
yeah, I'm gonna need you to come up with town names that every time we say them, I don't think of the Key and Peele sketch. Because Vallachi,
Mhm.
every single time I was thinking of Barovia.
Mhm. You want to go to war, Ballachi?
Yeah, and I kept
Mhm.
wanting to make jokes and say things, but you've
Mhm.
chastised me about keeping
Yeah.
this one on.
Well,
Thank you for keeping the tone. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, I'm the same way with Starsky. You keep saying that, and right in my mind goes Starsky, and
Starsky.
oh, no,
Starsky
the other
and
guy's
Hutch.
not Hutch. It's not Starsky and Hutch. It's
Yeah. There is a Barovia Facebook group that is 10,000 people strong, and they post maybe 40 to 50 times a day. And I made a post of that Key and Peele sketch, Asa. And I said, anybody else here, you want to go to war, Ballachi? Every time they hear Vallachi. And 120 people liked it. So it's not just you and me, it's everybody. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you for that, Brett. Yeah, start to Michael for the interactions with Shadow. That was super fun. Start to Asa for being such a trooper with all those fails. That was awesome. And man, star for that dramatic moment from the roof. That was really neat. And then start to Brett for playing along with these flashback memories. I does that seem interesting to you? And like Brett,
I
like
think it makes it more interesting and more fun, and it helps to I think for me anyway, just it helps to like head things off, maybe not in a completely different direction, but just be like, oh, type of thing. So yeah, I like it.
Awesome. Because I enjoyed it too. Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I'm glad you're liking it. Cool. Couple wishes for me. I am reading more and more about Barovia and Strahd and everything, and I have landed on the fact that I really like the setting. I really like Barovia, and I think that I want to do a full-blown Dungeon World conversion of Curse of Strahd. I don't want to do it where like we play for a bunch of sessions at once. So I'm gonna pitch you guys an idea here on camera with the audience at home watching, and then have you guys think about it long term. Okay, so I want us to play the amount of weeks that we had already budgeted up until the point we get to where we like solve and we get the Fletch of Quetzal back, right? And then we solve this mystery of who killed the Wagner brothers and why. And it is tied into like your overall quest, by the way. It's not a side quest, part of the main quest. And then what we have next is taking a week off, and then Michael's going to do 4 weeks of masks. Is that what we had, Michael? Okay. So are we playing until the 29th and then taking the 5th off? And then we're doing 4 weeks of masks? Was that the plan?
The 5th is Labor Day weekend, so that might make sense.
Oh, perfecto. Okay. So we'll play 3 more sessions of DW, take Labor Day off, and then Michael will GM masks for 4 weeks. And part of my wish is that we play, there's 2 other PBTA games that would fit this setting in a very, very amazing way. One of them is called The Sword, the Crown, and the Unspeakable Power. And so I would like to play a game in Barovia where either before or after you guys, someone actually kills Strahd, and there's this power vacuum left in Barovia. And it's essentially Game of Thrones, the PBTA game, is what this game is. And then the other game is called Bluebeard's Bride. And I want to play as a maiden that Strahd has taken to his castle. And she is trying to figure out, like, does he love me? Like, or is there something, does he love me and he's an innocent man, or is there something really super wrong with this dude? She doesn't know that he's a vampire. So check those 2 games out. Bluebeard's Bride. Those are my 3 wishes. And then we'll just discuss it throughout the week. So cool. All right, I'm going to stop the recording for people at home. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's okay. There it is.